Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome all of you to the annual general meeting of 2022. It actually augurs well for ISTD and ISTD Delhi chapter that today when we are sitting here, the monsoon started today in Delhi. So that's a good omen for all of us. As of now, there are 37 participants in this meeting. So as per Rule 911 of the Rules and Regulations of ISTD, it's Rule 9(1) and 2. The quorum is 35 members or 25% of the membership of a chapter. So since we have crossed 35 members, so we can start the meeting as there is quorum. Thank you so much. As far as the AGM is concerned, as per Rule 911, AGM has to happen at least once a year. And between two AGMs, there should not be a gap of more than 16 months. The last meeting which we had was on 31st of July 2021, and we are on 30th of June 2022. So 11 months have lapsed between the last meeting and this meeting. So we are on time for the AGM. As far as the notice for the AGM is concerned, 14 days notice is supposed to be given. And we had given the notice on 16th of June. So we have we have complied with the requirement of the notice. Moving on to the agenda points for this meeting. Agenda has been circulated on 16th of June and there were 6 agenda points. The first is confirmation of the minutes of the previous AGM, which was held on 31st of July 2021. The second is consideration of the annual report for the year ended 31st March 2021. Third agenda point is consideration and approval of the audited accounts for the year 2021-22. That is the year which ended on 31st March 2022. Fourth agenda point, which was circulated, was handing over charge to the newly elected body by the previous committee. So there'll be discussion on this. Fifth is appointment of auditors for the ensuing year, that is 2022-23, and fixation of the remuneration. And the last and final agenda point is any other matter with the permission of the chair. Before I invite our chairman to chair this meeting, I would like to place before the members certain house rules that will help us to conduct this particular meeting in a orderly fashion. First and foremost is the AGM that, as you must have noticed, is on meeting mode rather than on webinar mode, which means that participants do know how many people have joined this meeting and who all are attending this meeting. So that's the first house rule. Second house rule is the chat will remain open throughout the meeting. So you can use the chat box to interact with one another. Third is any participant who wants to speak, he or she can raise their hand, not physically, but click the raise hand icon, and they will be allowed to speak in sequence by the host. And in the interest of time, each member will get maximum 3 minutes to speak in the first instance and can raise one additional or follow-up query for another 2 minutes. Since there are 160 people who have registered for this meeting. In the interest of everyone present in this meeting, we will follow this time restriction. Point in the House rules is anyone using unparliamentary language will be excluded from the meeting. Fifth is voting by poll on screen. So you will get a voting button or voting pad for each of the agenda points whenever it is required to be voted on. And as soon as the voting is over, the results will appear on the screen. Sixth is the decision of the session chairman will be final and binding. So these are the agenda points again. Before we take on the agenda points, I would request our chapter chairman, Mr. Mukesh Jain, to chair this session and make his initial remarks. Mr. Mukesh Jain, please.
Thank you, Ajay-ji, and namaskar. Good evening, all the honorable members of ISTD Delhi chapter. I welcome you all, and I am grateful to all of you for sparing time to join this AGM of Delhi ISTD Delhi chapter 2022. So, agenda points have already announced on 16, which Mr. Ajay Sahu has just now read. We will take up one by one, and you are free to write in the chat box, and you can raise your hands while agenda point will carry on. So thank you very much, and once again welcome you all to this AGM. I would request Mr. Ajay Sahu to take up the agenda point. Thank you. Mr. Ajay Sahu.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jain. We'll take up the first agenda point for today, which is confirmation of the minutes of the previous AGM, which was held on 31st of July 2021. These minutes were circulated after the AGM, which happened in July last year, and this and also it was recirculated on 16th of June, along with the notice for AGM for 2022. So I will now leave the floor open for any member who would like to have any say on these minutes, any comments. So you're welcome. To speak, you need to raise hand, click on the raise hand button.
Mr. Vijay Gupta has proposed the minutes to be confirmed. Anybody?
On chat?
Mr. Y.N. Kaushal seconded it.
Okay. So Mr. Vijay Gupta has proposed that the minutes of the previous AGM may be confirmed, and Mr. Y.N. Kaushal has seconded it. So yeah, so it'll be treated as confirmed. Mr. Jain, we treat it as confirmed.
Minutes are confirmed by everyone.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Jain. Okay, moving on to the next point, which is consideration of the annual report for the year ended 31st March 2022. And this annual report was circulated again along with the notification for AGM 2022 on 16th of April. I do believe and expect that you might have gone through this report. So I am now leaving the floor open for any comments or any anything on this, you can raise your hand if you want. Okay. Mr. Rajiv Khurana has raised his hand. So you can give him the mic. Yes, Mr. Khurana.
It's wonderful interacting with all my friends at ISTD. In fact, I received the invite only yesterday, and the accounts also I got a forward in the morning, so I had a look in the morning itself. I'm a little curious only in terms of few questions which I have pasted in the chat box. So if you may like to read it, and I can read it along with that. I do trust all the things have been complied with, but still I have this query.
Can you speak up and can you read it?
Yes, yourself? I will read it.
Right.
With all humbleness, because you are saying anyone using harsh language will be taken off, I hope you will give me brownie points for being very soft with everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Khurana.
That's not my nature. Okay, my query is that what is the relationship of the person writing the accounts and the person auditing it? Are they the same people or are they different people? That's the first question.
Okay.
Would you like to answer that, or should I continue?
No, we'll take up one at a time.
Yeah.
The treasurer, Mr. Arpit Suri, would you like to answer this question?
Yeah, I'll answer. Sir, the primary duty of auditor is to audit and vouch the accounts. The preparation of accounts is to be done by the chapter. Accounts has to be maintained by the chapter. It's the basic rules laid down by the ICAI, which is you can say Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So this is the primary difference between.
No, I do understand that. That's the reason I'm asking this question, whether the auditor had any supervisory role in terms of writing of the accounts.
No. There are two different people who have done. One is doing the accounting,
question.
another is doing the audit.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
So auditors are Vabhya Bhatia and Associates.
Yeah.
Accounting is done in-house, right, Arpit?
No. It has been outsourced to Mr. Mohammad Danesh Siddiqui.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're paid 15,000 rupees.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. And anyone who works for you must be paid properly.
Right.
My second query is that, in the expenses, I saw the term setting up of Delhi chapter office expenses 4,14,583. Whereas during the same period, up to October 2021, the assets purchased were shown as 2,390 rupees 24 paisa. So if you were setting up Delhi office, why is this that the assets are less and the amount spent is much more?
Sir, I just opened the financial. Just give me a minute. Sir, I'll answer the fixed assets part. As you have seen, we have purchased 2 air conditions of 1.5 split Daikin ACs.
So fine, that answers my query number 3. That's okay.
Okay, yeah, they were purchased because it's interlinked. That's why.
No, that is fine. That's okay. Because you mentioned that. So in the 2 lakh rupees, you have purchased 2 ACs.
2 ACs.
And you also purchased a television worth 94,000 rupees. I really don't know what size is that.
It's a large TV.
Okay.
Sony TV.
Sure.
And Mr. Khurana, please do visit the Delhi office sometime.
मैं सिर्फ एक क्वेरी थी सर, मेरे को ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि किसी चीज पे डाउट है. मैं सिर्फ ये समझना चाह रहा था कि हम, because then we are saying that the total asset is around 2 lakh and the setting up of Delhi chapter office, the amount shown is 4,14,000. So why is the balance not getting reflected in the assets?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Arpit.
Yeah. So the TV brand was Sony, and I think it was 65 inch or 70 inches. I don't remember the exact
Sure.
inches. So, and we purchased AC because
No, that's
two
okay. No,
ACs
nobody
which
is
was
questioning
installed-
that. Please, Arpit. Nobody is questioning that. It is just that,
No,
you
no,
know,
it is
the
written.
amount is
Actually,
2 lakh.
what happened to
the
previous
balance
ACs and TV, it
amount
was
of,
written, so that's why I'm answering.
हाँ sure. तो आपने बोला मैंने मान लिया ना यार. अगर आप बोलते 42 इंच का है तो मैं कहता यार उसके ऊपर 94 ज्यादा है, लेकिन 70 इंच का बोल रहे हो तो वो भी सोनी का बोल रहे हो तो महंगा तो होगा. मैं चुप हो गया हूँ ना. बट मैं ये समझना चाह रहा हूँ कि कहीं ओवरसाइट से जो अमाउंट है आपका एसेट्स कम दिख रही हैं और अमाउंट स्पेंट इज 4,14,000. उस पे
Sir, 4,14,000 is for actually complete revamp. There is a table, center conference table, which has been installed. There is a whitewash, and we have removed old windows. It was completely revamped. It was not in a condition to use.
There is a LED projector.
No, LED प्रोजेक्टर अलग से है. वो तो आपने एसेट
अच्छा, वो अलग
वो तो
है.
फिक्स एसेट्स में है सर, वो फिक्स
Okay,
एसेट्स.
वो सब
okay.
It's amounting to 30,000, 28,000.
28,000.
Yeah.
ठीक है फिर तो.
And we have purchased fans also, some few fans.
हाँ, तो मेरे को लगता है शायद ये नॉमेनक्लेचर में प्रॉब्लम होगी. आपने नॉमेनक्लेचर यूज किया सेटिंग अप ऑफ दिल्ली चैप्टर ऑफिस, whereas you should have written in terms of renovation of दिल्ली ऑफिस, जिसके अंदर फिर आपने टेबल्स वगैरह लगाई और पूरा पेंट कराया होगा, फ्लोरिंग कराई होगी.
Yes.
I'm just presuming that.
Yeah, we got it actually as an empty cell.
अजय जी,
and-
मैं कोई चीज को डाउट नहीं कर रहा हूँ. मैं सिर्फ ये कह रहा हूँ कि शायद ये नॉमेनक्लेचर जो यूज हुआ है उसकी वजह से मेरी क्वेरी आ गई है.
Good,
I
good,
withdraw
yeah.
my.
No, please.
No
don't
issues,
withdraw.
no
Don't
issues.
withdraw.
हाँ.
Everybody has a right to know. Yes.
No. मैं सिर्फ उस नॉमेनक्लेचर के, बिकॉज मेरे को लगा कि 4,14,000 आपने स्पेंड किया और एसेट्स 2 लाख की दिखा रहे हैं, तो मैं जरा पूछ लूँ.
Right. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Okay. Any other? Mr. SP Singh. Yeah. Mr. Singh.
My query is that in the expenditure side, the balance sheet, some expenditure towards establishment charges, etc., have been reflected. So my pointed query is whether Mr. Mayank Sharma has in any way been engaged or appointed by the Delhi chapter or the secretary of the Delhi chapter, and what are the terms of engagement or appointment?
Okay. Mr. Jain, would you like to answer this? Mr. Mukesh Jain.
Yes, sir. So, after Arun Kumar, who was earlier the office executive, we have tried one another person, and finally we were not getting any good person to be engaged for daily chapter, because at least for the half day, one person is needed to work for daily chapter. So Mayank Sharma has been engaged on part-time basis. Earlier, we were paying 22,000 rupees plus conveyance to Arun, but now we are paying 13,000 rupees to Mayank for working with the daily chapter. So he is a part-time help to chapter, because we don't have full-time job in daily chapter now. So once we will have more activities and more things, we will make him as a full-time employee.
Right.
So we are paying 13,000 rupees to him, and he is working 3 days in a week to support ISTD Delhi chapter.
Thank you.
Sir, I also want to answer, because we have hired Mayank from February. So we have paid 2 months salary, And establishment expenses, if you remember at the last AGM, we had a conversation regarding establishment expenses. So you said we should mention the salary. By mistake, it was written to establishment expenses. So now we have rectified the same.
It is from February 2022 onwards.
Yes, yes. Before that, for first 3 months, Arun was there. For a couple of months, we tried another guy. He was with us, but for the period of, I think, in November to February, November to January, there was no one. That's why there is a decrease in salary. We can discuss this when the balance sheet part comes up.
Okay, thank you.
No,
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Okay, so this.
So anybody has to propose it and second it.
Mr.
GP Rao.
Dr. GP Rao. Okay, Dr.
Dr.
Alok
Alok
Goyal
Goyal
has
has
proposed.
IT, please unmute Dr. GP Rao.
Yeah, I saw Sucharita proposing. I saw that. Then I thought of seconding. So whichever way you want to record, I either proposer or a seconder. So that's my.
So Dr. Alok Goyal proposed and Pratima Kaushal ji seconded.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. Thank you, sir. So we move on to the next agenda point, which is creation and approval of the audited accounts for the year ended 31st March 2022. Mr. Arpit Suri, I can share the screen or whatever you want for you. Any of the document you want me to share, I will do that.
Yeah, you can. Can you share the balance sheet and income, whole financials?
Okay. All right. Okay. I move down. Yeah. Balance sheet.
I'm not able to see the screen, sir.
No? Just a moment. Okay. Now is it visible? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Mr. Suri, you are up.
Yes. So sir, we'll start with income and expenditure first, then we'll come to balance sheet, and then we'll move forward, because income and expenditure surplus comes to balance sheet.
Sure.
So first we'll start with the income thing. So as everybody knows, it was Corona time, so we didn't had any national conclave this time. But we received money on behalf of having contact classes for batch number. I don't remember the batch. Ajay sir, if you can help for the batch for which we.
Mr. Vayan Kaushal will be able to tell us. Mr.
Yeah.
Kaushal, are you there, sir? You can write it in the chat box.
Kaushal sir.
Okay, no problems. So.
Okay. So we received for earlier batch. After that, NHQ took over for the classes. So for that, we have received some payment, and on the contrary, we have made the same payment as an honorarium. If you can see on the expenditure part. And next is diploma share from NHQ. We have received this for, I think, 3 batches, I guess. Sir, we have received for 3 batches, Ajay sir, for 4 batches.
Diploma share?
Yeah.
Diploma share, we have received 70,000 rupees each for 2 batches, and 1 lakh rupees for having more than 25 students. So I would like to mention here that the Delhi chapter is giving highest number of students to the diploma board.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Apil.
So yeah, next is interest from FD. We have some FDs with the bank. So we have received an interest of 22,600 from that, and there is some money in our bank account, saving account, so which on which we have received interest again. And the membership share from NHQ is on the membership shares which we receive, which we make members, which become Delhi chapter members. So NHQ gives us membership share of that. So it is coming out to be 93,500. So now we come to expense. So the audit fees is same, which was decided as per the AGM, 11,000. And this is the conveyance paid to Arun when he was with us. And the depreciation is on the fixed assets which we have purchased and which were earlier also. And this event expenses, just a minute. This is an event which we had inauguration of our Delhi chapter office by national president. There was we distributed some honorariums or some small
Tokens, yeah.
tokens to everybody on account of inauguration of our new office basically. And honorarium that I've told you, we have paid to all the people who took classes before NHQ took over the classes. And the IT support expenses, basically you can say the support which we were taking for the classes. And the professional charges for preparation and finalization of audit, for accounts. And the major expense, as Rajiv sir was questioning, it was 41,583 for, you can say, setting up of Delhi chapter office or renovation because it was not in a condition to use. And repair and maintenance is small and petty maintenance of computer and everything. And the telephone expenses, which we have a telephone, and website expenses, maintenances, we have a website which is being maintained. We regularly upload informations and all the events over there. All the evening lectures have been uploaded over there. Mukesh sir would be in a better position to tell what events we have conducted. And this is the salary which SP sir was talking about. Earlier it was shown as establishment expense, but in the last AGM it was decided to rename it to salary. So we have renamed it to salary. And the server charges is on the server charges, we have taken the server charge services from a person for hosting of our website. And Zoom, we have purchased a Zoom license for 1 year. So that's why we have given this amount. Last time it was more because we have received a refund because we took services from some agency, and again he erred on some issue, so we got a refund from him. So that's why it's coming less.
Okay.
And so balance sheet now, if you can go to balance sheet. Yeah. So if we come to our capital account was 26 lakhs opening balance, and this year, unfortunately, our expenditure was over expense. But however, if we consider 2 years, pandemic years, net we have got a net profit of around 6 lakh rupees, which is a plus point for our chapter. And we have almost tried to minimize our liabilities. If you can see, there is a sundry creditor of 700 rupees. That amounts to there was some repair and maintenance of printer, And the provision, this is basically some small expenses. One is, you can say, account.
Your voice is not coming.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Arpit. Now
Am
you're
I
on.
audible, sir?
Yeah, now you're on. Yes.
Yeah. So this provision is for, you know, some telephone expenses and audit fees to be paid, and the accounting expenses to be paid. We just have a liability of you know, around 35,000 rupees. That's it. And fixed assets, we have explained all the fixed assets, as the point was earlier taken by Rajiv sir. So this is the investment which we were talking about, FD. We have around 4,17,000 in our FDs with Indian Bank. And this sundry credit debtors is Indian Oil. This payment is pending from almost 1 year. We have approached Ranjan Mahapatra ji for this to, you know, clear ASAP. So we are hopeful we'll get it in a month or two. And this is a cash in hand, we keep it. Balances, bank balance is there. And this TDS receivable is receivable by NHQ. We have to take it from NHQ because we don't have individual PAN number. We use PAN number of NHQ. And this is our GST balance, which is there in portal. And this advance is to be recovered by NHQ. 36,450 is to be paid by NHQ. So we have to receive amount of around 50,000, 52,000 from NHQ. So that's all about balance sheet and all our financials. If anybody has questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay.
Mr.
Rajiv Khurana has raised
allow
his hand.
Rajiv Khurana ji for asking question. IT.
Yeah, Arpit, I am not questioning, but it's a curiosity in the form of a suggestion.
Yes, sir.
When you can identify 700 rupees as a creditor, and then you are also making a provision for other liabilities, which is roughly around 34,500 rupees. What is the nature of these liabilities, and what is stopping us to even wipe them off so that balance sheet is clear of all this?
Actually, sir, creditor is because we received an invoice almost on the last week of March.
Oh,
So
that's
we
okay,
had
understandable. I mean, that is an example of good practice I'm giving you. I appreciate that. So that's the reason I'm asking you that why have a provision of 34.5
because we have to pay to the auditor and basically you can say the person who makes our accounts. It can be done only after 31st March. It cannot be done before that. So it's a practice done by
so in which
all the
case,
MNCs.
I totally appreciate that. My request is that we should use proper nomenclature in our financial account so that people like me do not ask questions.
No problem. Next time,
so when you write that, okay, this is towards payable to the auditors and the accounts person, it is absolutely crystal clear.
No.
So I didn't, because I do understand these nitty-gritty. That's the reason I had this query.
No issues. So
It
next
is in
time
no
we'll
way,
make sure
it is in no way objecting to anything that you have done, because all of you are doing it in good faith and these are very smaller amounts, but a proper process and the proper terminology needs to be followed.
Right.
That's my
Sure. I will make sure from next year we keep correct nomenclature.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Khurana.
So I would request someone to propose and someone to second.
Okay, Mr. Deepak Barara has proposed. We want somebody.
Propose.
We want somebody to second. Mr. Deepak Barara has already proposed. We want somebody to second. Okay, Mr. Vijay Gupta has seconded.
Mr. Vijay Gupta has already done it. Someone else. Dr. Akhil Basra is second.
Okay, okay. Right, okay. Thank you,
So,
sir.
friends, before coming to the next agenda, point number 4, I have seen that many of our honorable members was not having patience to understand what Mr. Ajay Sahu has told to the August gathering, that these are the agenda point which we have circulated on 16th of June. We have not told that this agenda point will be taken here. So my humble request is, please understand and then speak or write, so that the meeting is in the right direction, as it is going in right direction. Agenda number 4, Ajay ji, you show the agenda number 4.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the agenda number 4, handing over the charge to the newly elected body by the previous committee. So friends, I would like to mention here that national president has sent a letter earlier on 18th, validating our results, Delhi chapter results, which were duly convened by a duly appointed returning officer. But there are certain complaints reached to the national office, not to us. Even today, we have not received any complaint from any of the members. So the national president has sent a message on 18th of June, saying that the Delhi chapter results stand valid. And after 1 week, the similar committee, OB, and the similar national president has put it on hold. We don't know on what ground they have done. We have written a letter to them. Then, since we have already circulated, we cannot withdraw this in between, because we have to conduct the meeting. And last night, we have received a court order sent by one of our member, Miss Leena Sharma Javeri, that the court has given some interim injunction to hold this, not to change over the guards of Delhi chapter. So we are not doing anything here. We will wait, because the matter is sub judice. So we are not changing the body, and we will wait for the orders, next order from the court and the national office, and then we'll do it that. So this is my saying to everybody here. Yes, IT, please allow Mr. SP Singh.
Can I speak?
Yes, Mr. Singh.
I would like to particularly give a comment on what Mr. Mukesh Jain just now shared. Let me share that by the order of the national president, district court sessions judge had been appointed to inquire into the elections that had taken place, in which Delhi chapter elections were also involved. Number one. Number two, there was a letter issued by the national president, Mr. Nataraj Ray.
So, Mr. Singh, I will stop you here.
I am being very brief.
Election matter
I am not discussing. I am not discussing.
No, we don't want to discuss.
I am not discussing since you made a statement.
No.
I am making a statement.
Please, we are not changing the guard, and we are not discussing.
No,
matter
yes.
is sub judice in the
You made a statement.
We will
I
not
may be allowed
to
to make a statement.
IT, please mute Mr. Singh.
I may be allowed
We will
to
not
make a
discuss,
statement.
sir. We will not discuss here. We will not discuss here. We have already told matter is sub judice. And if you want to write anything to anywhere, you are free. And we are not coming in between. You are writing and you keep writing. Let the national office or the court take action against Delhi chapter or the RO or the national office or the members who are writing. So here the matter is complete. We don't want to discuss anything because matter is sub judice. We don't want to discuss anymore in this platform about the election process. Election process will be taken care of by the inquiry officer which has been set up. So this is my request to everyone. Please bear with us because matter is sub judice. Tomorrow, any one of us will go to court and tell that these matters have been discussed in the AGM, which we don't want to do that. So, Mr. Dr. G.P. Rao, IT, please allow Dr. G.P. Rao to speak.
Okay, before that, let me just share one screen. This is a email which was sent by Mr. Jain to Dr. Nataraj Ray. That was yesterday. Because
before receiving any court order.
Yeah. So because as per the rules and regulations of ISTD, the current managing committee's tenure ends on 30th of June or the AGM, whichever is earlier. So since AGM is happening today and today is also 30th of June, the current managing committee's tenure ends today. So from tomorrow onwards, what happens if the new committee does not take charge? So for that, we had sent an email to Mr. Dr. Nataraj Ray yesterday, saying that as per the agenda point 4, handing over charge to the newly elected body by the previous committee. As per your letter, the results are put on hold. Therefore, we seek your suggestion on this agenda point. And also on the functioning of the Delhi chapter from 1st July 2022. Kindly send your reply before 2 p.m. of 30/6/2022 for taking necessary action during AGM accordingly. And we did not get any response from him at by 2 p.m. today. So another reminder was sent at 2:33 p.m. today to Dr. Ray. Your reply is awaited and please send immediately to take corrective steps in the matter. Still, it is now 6:44 p.m. We have not received any reply from either the director or from the president. So we do not know. Actually, we are at a loss as to what happens tomorrow. Like tomorrow, the chapter would be headless, and that there won't be anybody to actually take care of the chapter matters. All right. Thank you. Mukesh Jain, sir.
IT, please allow Dr. G.P. Rao.
So, good evening. On this point, it would have been better. Again, like my friend Rajiv Kurana says, it's only a suggestion. The secretary should have put the following points. Number one, the elections, while the elections were declared on the 4th June, the national president has informed us that there were some complaints. The complaints are being referred to an inquiry officer. However, the elections are upheld. That means continue. Then on 26th, he has reversed his communication and said, no, Delhi chapter elections are on hold. Number 3, for that, our chairman has sought some clarification from the national president, how you have reversed this view. Number 4, since the elections are, the results are on hold, so we have this item number 4, we have sent a letter to him seeking his guidance. And so far we have not got anything. So in the situation, so our proposal is we will not transact item number 4 and await instructions from the national president. You can also say, in the meanwhile, we got a intimation from the court ordering an injunction or something. But then that has happened later. Before that, we have taken a decision not to pursue agenda number 8. If you can do that, then the queries will be limited. It's only a suggestion. This is not a question, nor a comment, nor a question. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So we have 3 hands which have been raised. First, I think Dr. Suri. Yeah. Dr. Suri. Can you unmute Dr. Suri?
Thank you, Sausa. Thank you, every member who are present over here. The functioning of a society is a voluntary affair, and everybody has a democratic right to express their wisdom, their contribution. We all are here to be there to contribute something, and all of the members who are present, I must express sincere thanks and gratitude. The differences may arise, disputes may arise, those can be sorted out and resolved by having a mutual consultations. Everything can be resolved by having a mutual consultations and deliberations. Now, a couple of things. I have gone through the interim relief which has been given. There are certain challenges which needs to be put it across, but I am right now restraining myself because the matter is sub judice. We should not deliberate anything on this issue. Anything on this issue is not to be deliberated because the matter is sub judice. All those points, whatever are there by the plaintiff or by the defendant, should be taken up in the court of law. And we respect the court, we respect the verdict of the court, and we respect each member equally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Akhil Basrai.
Greetings to all my fellow ISTDians. I want to share a feeling. We are all part of a professional body expecting professional growth, knowledge exchange, and also the satisfaction of meeting fellow professionals with like-minded purpose. What I have been noticing in ISTD, and I'm not talking about this particular incident or this chapter only, that we spend more energy in running down people, running down systems, in criticizing, in bringing down people, and now even court. I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. If it's required to be done, it has to be done. But it's a sad reflection of our own professional involvement and professional benefit that we get out of ISTD. And as a member, I feel that, am I getting professional satisfaction out of this being associated with ISTD? The answer, unfortunately, is limited. If there are issues, I think we should, like someone just suggested, sit down, sort it out once and for all, and close it. We cannot have this simmering for months together, years together, criticizing this, criticizing that, and now going to court for injunction. If you want to really show strength of our belief, we should be able to present and talk it over, and whether both the parties involved in the dispute must sit down and talk it over. And that is why somebody like an ombudsman that I suggested to the president much earlier would have helped. We got to bring a professional atmosphere in a professional body. This is becoming too much of a rancor and anger and one-upmanship, and to the point that I was anguished to see the House rule say that if any member uses unparliamentary language. I think this, as a professional, this doesn't suit us. If we are here to mentor people, to be a role model, so-called role model at various forums that we are setting example for youngsters, if any youngsters attending this meeting, if they see this is the role modeling behavior, we should feel ashamed of ourselves. I think the important part is to resolve. I'm not saying put it under the carpet. Issues are there that should not be denied. We should resolve it. But this rankering and this constant poisonous atmosphere, toxic atmosphere is not helping any one of us. And if people have appetite to indulge in this rather than any professional activities, good luck to them. Thank you very much.
Okay. Kindly unmute Mr. Sumit.
Thank you so much and good evening, everybody. I just have a small point to make. I would request that, we respect the rules and regulations that are very much clearly laid down. And I draw your attention to Rule 7 and Clause 10, which is the last. Very clearly it says, in case the elections are not concluded or AGM is not held by June 30 in the election year, the affairs of the chapter will be looked after by an ad hoc managing committee to be constituted by the National Council till the annual general meeting to be held after the elections. So since our chapter chairman has already written to the NP, an ad hoc committee will be created by the National Council and that will look after. So where is the confusion? I don't understand. With due respect to court process, that will happen, whatever. I'm not going to. The blue book is very clear. There's no confusion. Rule 7, subclause 10. Kindly go through it. It's there on the website. Thank you so much.
Right. So that's the reason, since we do not have the power to appoint the ad hoc managing committee, only the NC can do it. And NC comes under the, the national headquarters. So that's why we had written to National President and we had requested if he can give us some guidance till 2 p.m. And again, we sent another reminder to him. And till now, we are at reaching 7 p.m. today. Till now, we have not received any, there is not even an acknowledgement of our mail. So that's the reason why the confusion is, Mr. Sumit. All right. Okay, next. Anybody else?
Mr. Rajiv Khurana, please.
Mr. Rajiv Khurana.
Thank you very much. You see, I'm not commenting on matter being sub judice. I'm not commenting on any of the provisions. The meeting is still on. And generally in the AGM, a lot of discussions are made by all the members in terms of whatever they feel like about the current and future of the organization. What Akhil said, what GP said matters a lot. Today, at least give everyone a chance to speak without shutting up anyone. Because at least this is the duty we have towards others who wish to say something. Of course, we would expect everyone to talk in a very decent manner, professional manner, as Akhil is talking about. If you have a point of perspective, do talk it out. Because this stalemate cannot continue for a very long time. Because ISTD as an organization, I'm sorry to use the word, will go to dogs if we fight like dogs. My suggestion is, we have Akhil, we have GP, we have others. Let them lead this discussion. Let's invest half an hour. Let's listen to everyone. And in case there are feelings, let's talk it out. Tomorrow, whatever the court decides, whatever the rule book says, let's follow that also. But in the meantime, as professionals, why should we carry on with bitterness, shut down people? I see people saying, I want to say something. Let's give them an opportunity. Where else would we give the opportunity? This is my humble request, please. And Akhil and GP, I hope you agree with me on this. Please take the lead.
Rajiv bhai, I would like to mention here, sir, when the matter related to elections is sub judice in the court of law, and the complainant or plaintiffs are sitting here, if we'll discuss on the election process and other things, we will be stand nowhere. The Delhi chapter once again will be
प्लीज सुन लो मेरी बात को, कोर्ट में जाके लड़ लेना तो, लेकिन यहाँ लड़ क्यों रहे हैं इसके बारे में थोड़ी चर्चा कर लेते हैं। अपनी पेंटअप फीलिंग तो निकालने की कोशिश करने दो लोगों को, बिना किसी के ऊपर उंगली उठाए और बिना गलत शब्दों का इस्तेमाल किए। एक मौका तो दें यार सबको अपनी बात की, मन की भड़ास निकालने का। I saw even Leena ji wanted to speak. Please give her a chance. I wanted SP to speak. SP को हमने बंद करा दिया। अरे आप बोलना चाहोगे मुकेश जी, मैं हाथ जोड़कर आपकी सारी बातें सुनने को तैयार हूँ। आज हम इकट्ठे हुए हैं, जरा उस मौके का इस्तेमाल तो करें।
चलिए ठीक है,
नहीं, अगर नहीं पसंद आता तो मैं अभी शट डाउन करके बंद कर लेता हूँ यार। मैं आई एम on a sick bed right now. मैं अपने बेड
No, no, I agree with you. We'll give another chance to Mr. Singh.
No, Rajiv, we value your words and we value as a person. Yeah. So next up will be Leena ji. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I am Leena Sharma Zaveri, advocate, and I will not talk about the court order or the court, whatever is going to happen in the court. I would just say, as Dr. Basra said, that if the rules and regulations are followed, and if there is a corrective action and remedial action taken from the top and from the bottom together, things will be much better among us. I'm comparatively a new member, and I'm sorry to say, I've been working for various NGOs and other organizations. I've never seen such a mismanagement at any level like I've seen in ISTD. Reason being, today itself, my man had gone to ISTD office, which is a registered office of the society, to serve the summons, to serve the court orders. And the person who calls himself a office manager, Mr. Mayank, he said, I will not take any personal correspondence here. And the person who went to serve even the court order was stopped from serving the documents. It was under court order that I had sent all those documents, and he was not allowed. This is, I mean, this kind of attitude towards the court order itself speaks for itself. Number two, when we had been complaining right through from the very beginning about the process of elections, no action, no statement was given. Rather, the cuss words, Hathi and Kutta, I think dogs are hot favorite here in ISTD. Hathi and Kutta words were used in email, which was addressed to everyone. I mean, this kind of language I have never seen in my professional life in these 25 years. So I will again say I'm comparatively a new member. I would like things to be properly managed. We are a professional management society. And I joined ISTD thinking it's a professional, it's a group of professionals. And unfortunately, it is not. Everybody is fighting, ugly fights, cuss words, defamation notices being sent on various issues. This is not the way an organization should be run. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leena ji. Dr. Rao, please. Dr. G.P. Rao.
I agree with the general views. So I have a pressure of time at 7:30. There is a condolence meeting in honor of our dear friend, late K.K. Sinha. There is a pressure of time. It's bothering me. So that's why I quickly want to say, while I agree with Akhil's suggestion and Rajiv's suggestion that there should be an open house discussion. So I support that view, like just now what Leena said. No, she never used any thing which is sub judice. She never used any unparliamentary word. She just ventilated her feelings, shared some insight to introspect and see whether what happened was right or wrong. So that way, if you can maintain no sub judice statements, nothing about the court, no unparliamentary language like questioning somebody's integrity, talking, getting into some personal matters. If you can avoid these and share a point, this is how an organization should run, this is how we should bring them improvements. So just note down, let's note down. Don't say that's right or wrong. MC will discuss, okay, because anyway it is 30th June, this MC will go, another MC will come. So they will discuss and all, just take the notes. So that's what I wanted to say. And we should be proud of our chapter about this largeness. We have a own office, we have a corpus, people attend, a large number of people participate in all activity. They're all pluses. Some improvements, there can be always the improvement. Somebody wants to say something, we should be open. Just note down. You don't have to say agree. We don't have to defend. We'll say, okay, the MC will put up all these suggestions to the MC, next MC. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ram. Dr. Radesh Suri. Mr. Goel, can you just unmute Dr. Suri?
Firstly, I would request Mr. Singh to be allowed to express his opinions, because that's what the healthy communication should be. This is my humble request to the secretary. With
Yeah, we'll do that. After Mr. Varangai, Mr. Singh will come.
Sure. Thank you very much. That's the first thing. Second thing which I would like to put across, I fully respect what Akhil has told, what GP has told, and what Rajiv has told. We are here to serve certain purposes. Those purposes are for the betterment of society, not for our own personal agendas of hitting below the belt to someone, making personal statements against someone. We all are here in a professional capacity to make the society better. With that, I thank you for giving me an opportunity to express. I agree that we all are here to serve our purposes of a larger professional community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Suri. Mr. Varangai.
Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity. A warm good evening to all of you. Comparatively, I am a very new member as compared to seniors, that what we can see here in today's AGM. And I am somewhat happy and I'm somewhat sad also, because the same issues were said in the previous AGMs as well. And why we need to have AGMs only the platform to discuss issues? Why we can't discuss issues during normal days? Issues were discussed, issues were sent, then why can't we email them? Why we say that it's honorary or whatever reasons we say? So if there is an issue and somebody writes, and being a member, then it's the office bearer's responsibility to respond. And if there is something that needs to be discussed, let's just discuss amicably. I remember during last national AGM, I raised the same point that if whatever points of discussion needs to be discussed, we need to sit, discuss and close it. Because if things will be on simmer, you won't get any head and tail. And I guess Mr. Dabas also got second during that day that yes, this needs to be done and everybody needs to be sit and clear this. We need to have a normal person. Let's everybody sit together and discuss. Being a student, yes, there were issues that we raised being students, and those points still hasn't been addressed or hasn't been replied. So if we say that if there are issues and somebody says that we don't get any email, there are tons of email that people send being students also. I mean, this body is there, and yes, we are professional people to look the networking and everything else. But then our main bread and butter is the students. If we are not focusing on students and their issues, there is no point sitting at any platform and giving any kind of discussion with regards to balance sheet or anything. So let's focus on students also, because that's the priority that we should see. And second, I would also like to say that every AGM or the other chapters were happened during the physical mode. I don't know why this we are having in the online mode. We should have this as a physical mode and got a chance to meet a lot of other people and senior people, and we'll get to know more about them as to, and of course the guidance that young generation like us would like to have from them. And last but not the least, I would like to request the chapter chairman, the secretary, to allow Mr. SP Singh to put forward his points. Thank you.
Sure. Mr. Singh. And after Mr. Singh, Mr. KK Mujumdar. Mr. SP Singh.
I'm not able to, yes.
Yes, Mr. Singh.
Well, yeah. I hope I am audible.
You are.
Thank you, Ajay. And let me put on record that I deeply respect the sane voices of Akhil, GP Rao, Dwarka Nathji, who's not here. I do not know, have not seen him today. Rajiv Khurana and many others, who have said that we are not discussing, when the chairman made a statement, we are not discussing the elections or the issues connected with elections per se. What I wanted to say was that whatever mails that we put across, whatever messages that we give, for the past 2 years or so, I have seen that mails do not get replied to. So there could be another, ISTD Delhi chapter boasts about some feedback system. It was there earlier. When I pointed it out, that feedback thing was not working, so it was removed. I think so. There is no way of giving your feedback. Though Dwarka ji in one of the meetings also said that there has to be a robust system of giving and receiving feedback that we should have in the chapter, but unfortunately this has not come. So this was one point that I was going to make. Number two, yes, Mukesh Jain ji spoke about the letter from Nataraj Ray. It was very, very clear. So there was no point of discussion on that. So he has been writing letters. So my request would be that if a member raises a query with respect to any correspondence that is made, either through a mail or through phone call, that should be replied to. So these were, this was point number two. Number three, there is a code of conduct and code of ethics that is there available on the website of ISTD. I think all should be respecting the codes that have been developed by the larger body of ISTD, and it should be kept in mind always, instead of really using unparliamentary language either for maybe a judge or maybe anybody else who's a professional member in ISTD. So we all are professionals and we all have respect for each other who give respect. So these were the points that were coming to my mind. And with this, I would like to end here. But please acknowledge the mails, please acknowledge the feedback that goes to you, so that we feel that, we are in a way participating in the affairs of the chapter. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Singh. Mr. K.K. Majumdar, he wants to speak.
Yeah, good evening. This is K.K. Majumdar.
Yes, Mr. Majumdar, you're audible.
Okay. So it's about 10 years now that I'm a life member of ISTD. I think in 2012, I became the life member of this organization. At that point in time, I had a hope that I'm going to join a very professionally managed society where L&D activities will be taken a newer height, and I should be able to contribute through my professional experience and skills. And it has been a decade now, but my experience and my impression on the ISTD activities is actually below par, to be very frank. The reason being is that the expectations I had related to L&D activities are not visible. And whatever is visible, they're done in a very, very suboptimal manner. This is my first experience with respect to the core issue of ISTD. Second is that the election process, I find there is a high level of enthusiasm among members to be a part of the managing committee group or chapter body, especially in Delhi. Delhi being the capital of our country, and here people are more active. And it's so active that for 1 month of the election, your email box will be burst with so many repeated emails from the willing candidates. And many of them, you have never heard of their name, they have never seen their photographs. So you are really perplexed that whom to vote and whom not to. And there may be, and then at some time I have deleted emails without even reading it, because my email box is giving alert that your email is. And in one such email, I found it was from due respect from Mrs. Jain, wife of Mr. Mukesh Jain. And then I thought that since she's spouse of Jain and there are two candidates competing for the same election, I just replied one-liner that, ma'am, why are you applying, contesting, because it may be then considered to be a familial activity. And there was no reply after that. After 2 days, I received a call, and then happened to be Mr. Mukesh Jain. And then his voice was very different, and he started talking to me, and I found it is very unusual way of his speaking. But then he talked about other names of Bengali community. I don't know them personally. He said, "Are you also in touch with these guys?" I said, "Look, I don't know them who they are, but no, I'm not, and I'm not having any professional or any other relationship." Then he started telling a very bad language, that is bust. I'm not saying the full word. Bust. Only those busts are doing this and that. And after then I said that how can you say such a filthy language against such members, like members? Immediately he said the same word to me. I said, "What is this? What are you talking?" Then I had no other move to talk to him. I dropped the phone. So this is the kind of behavior we are getting from a chairman of Delhi chapter. I'm telling to all of you that today the matter has gone to court. And for what? Because there is a huge level of greed from some people to hold the chair of this Delhi chapter. And I'm so sorry to say that people having such vested interest should be said no, straight away. And all of us who gather in such meetings, we tell many things about it, but we are not focusing on the behavioral part of the members. If they feel that they have joined a professional organ like ISTD, at least their behavior should be acceptable, and they should have respect to all the each and every members. If you say a wrong word against a member without any provocation, then you are not supposed to be in this group. So with this feeling, I'm just to all of you guys, some are senior to me, some are of my age, that I find that this organization can be managed well, provided we weed out such people. And that is the only agenda. And those who are speaking today, I should say that we should all come forward and check on these guys. Otherwise, at one point, I felt like leaving this organization. I was just about to write that how to withdraw the membership. And this organization is producing at this moment nothing. Forget about achieving new heights, only few meetings here and there. That's not the whole purpose of this organization. The organization is a national level organization.
Right, Mr. Majumdar, I'll stop you here because we are going beyond the agenda point. So I'll stop you here. Thank you so much. All right. So we'll take up the next agenda point, which is appointment of the auditors. Mr. Arpit Suri. Do we take up this agenda point at this juncture? That's my question is that.
Sir, no, we can't take.
No, we can't, because in case there is a new committee, they should have that opportunity to appoint the auditors rather
Yes,
than
yes, we'll defer this.
we'll defer this. We'll
Yeah.
defer this. And in case extraordinary GM has to be called, whichever
in any
committee
case,
takes over.
sir, in any case, we have to call an EGM because we have to give the handover to
Handover
review
also.
committee.
Yeah. So in that it can be taken up. Okay. Right. Thank you. We move on. This is the last agenda point. Any other matter with the permission of the chair. So you can write any other matter which you want to discuss in the chat box, and it will be up to the chair to have a discussion. Okay, Mr. Rajiv Khurana says we should discuss about the future. Okay, all right. Any other? We can conclude. Yeah. Mr. Barara, we will be able to conclude the session by 7:30. Okay, any other point? Please write down whatever topic you want to discuss in the chat box, and we'll take up those.
Mr. Rajiv Khurana, please IT allow to Mr. Rajiv Khurana.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'll be very brief. I'm taking up 2 pointers coming from my friends Varang and Ajay Sahu. So far, perhaps I'm one of the longest serving management trainers in India. And my last time, Varang, I visited ISTD because Ajay Sahu has been inviting me to the ISTD. The last time I visited was in an AGM where I did not allow the accounts to be passed because there was so much of embezzlement. Your question that in AGM, why do we only discuss accounts and why not about the future of the students is absolutely valid. But then there are statutory requirements that at least once in a year, we have to follow the course, which would mean there will be an annual report, there'll be accounts, etc., etc. So since then, I'm attending this AGM now. I would be looking forward to visiting the ISTD chapter as soon as these fights are over, because I personally feel as a trainer, ISTD, I'm sorry to say, is highly outdated in terms of thinking and technology vis-a-vis training. And our students need a lot of upgradation because whatever is happening in the world around, we are oblivion of that. And we are actually pretty regressive in the name of training. We are actually trying to train our guns on each other. I'm sure in times to come, this will get resolved fast because as a true professional and as all of you are true professionals, we should be working towards resolving this amicably so that our next generation, led by people like Varong, can actually learn a lot along with us because we need to learn also along with. And we should be in a position to create a better platform of training and learning in India because there is so much needs to be done, and let us not get outdated. This is my humble request to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Khurana. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajiv Bhai. I would like to mention here, it is me who has chased you up many times to give some time to ISTD because I know you are a very, very experienced and true coach and trainer. But you are having some other commitments. That's why you have never indulged in this ISTD.
I've
We
told you my reasons today. जिस दिन लड़ाई खत्म कर दोगे मैं आ जाऊंगा.
सर सुनिए पहले हमारी जरा
मैं तब तक नहीं आऊंगा.
नहीं, सुन लीजिए. और हमने सर हम हर हफ्ते एक प्रोग्राम करते हैं बाय द मेंबर फॉर द मेंबर, एंड वी आर इनवाइटिंग ईच एंड एवरी मेंबर of the society of the Delhi chapter to please come and speak for 45 minutes to 1 hour and share your experiences and share your things. Few members like Mr. Dabas, Mr. Barara, so many people, Mr. Akil Basrai, so many people have joined us, Dr. G.P. Rao, but many people are not joining, coming out. Mrs. Pratibha
जैन साहब,
Kaushal,
आप भी वही कर रहे हो जो दूसरे लोग कर रहे हैं. इवनिंग टॉक्स तो ISTD क्या कर रही है? ISTD का बहुत बड़ा रोल है करने वाला. बहुत नई सोच चाहिए, नई टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल करके हमें करना चाहिए. और यहाँ तो इस महाभारत में मेरे दोनों तरफ ही भाई बैठे हुए हैं. मैं किसकी तरफ करूंगा? मैं चाहूंगा बस करो लड़ाइयाँ और काम की बात करते हैं जरा मिलकर.
दूसरी बात जो है, अभी वारंग भाई ने स्टूडेंट्स की बात कही. हम लोग स्टूडेंट्स का कोई काम नहीं देखते. जो हमारे पास कॉन्टेक्ट क्लासेस का भी काम था वो हमसे 1.5 साल पहले छीन लिया गया है. डिप्लोमा इज प्योरली लुक्ड आफ्टर बाय द नेशनल ऑफिस एंड डिप्लोमा बोर्ड. So Delhi chapter is in no way connected with the diploma program of ISTD. But we are penalized for
अगर
that.
ISTD के डिप्लोमा प्रोग्राम नहीं रन कर सकते तो भी यंग प्रोफेशनल्स के लिए तो बहुत कुछ किया जा सकता है ना.
Sir, people are not coming forward. Sir, people are not coming forward.
इंडिया में कितने सारे ट्रेनर्स हैं या ट्रेनिंग लर्निंग प्रोफेशनल्स हैं. हमारा स्कोप बहुत बड़ा है. इवनिंग टॉक से ना हम अपने आप को एक्टिविटीज में कंफाइन मत करें. हम यहाँ एनालिटिक्स की बात नहीं करें, इम्पैक्ट की बात करें. मेरी ये हम्बल सबमिशन है सबके सामने.
अब जब तक लोग राजीव भाई जुड़ेंगे नहीं, जब तक लोग जुड़ेंगे नहीं, जब तक लोग आगे नहीं आएंगे, लोग कमियां निकालने पे लगे रहेंगे तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता.
तो अगर माहौल ही ऐसा रहेगा,
हमने प्लेटफॉर्म तैयार कर रखा है. अगर लोग नहीं आएंगे प्लेटफॉर्म पे और उस पे जो है वो कहेंगे साहब हम तो नहीं आएंगे, तो हम कैसे करेंगे सर उसमें?
We will get Mr. Khurana on board. I'm certain about it. Okay, Mr. Arvind Kumar.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for providing me an opportunity to speak. I actually feel delighted to see that we have so many learned people. It's a council of members, and we have such a heterogeneous strength at ISTD chapter. And let me draw everyone's attention to one of the biggest problems. As you know, ISTD diploma program is one of the flagship program for which ISTD even exists. More than 80% students, they never complete their diploma, pan-India. It is not for ISTD Delhi chapter. And the reason behind that is well known for a long time, which is because the students, they are not able to complete their project. Mr. Jan also talked about, that they have weekly sessions and, they have member for the member program. And then there are a lot of support opportunities and support that can be provided to the students. I think recently I have started, I would just talk about one program that I have started, and it is going to start from tomorrow itself. I am actually targeting all the pan-India students who have not yet completed their diploma projects, and their diploma is pending because of that. If one person, Arvind Kumar, can do this with so much of infrastructure at ISTD Delhi chapter, what stops ISTD Delhi chapter, to take such initiatives? Because, you are running, ISTD is running a flagship program, diploma, and, the students, they are not able to complete the program only because their projects are, not completed. So why Delhi chapter is not taking initiative on such important, objectives? And we also have a council of such learned members like G.P. Rao sir, Akil Basrai sir, Rajiv sir, SP sir, Sumit sir, even Ajay Sahu sir, YM Kaushal sir. So many people here. We are not actually lacking people, but somewhere these opportunities are not combined together. The people who need and the people who can offer, they are not brought on a common platform. So we can have differences. I do not deny, but can we put apart these differences on a separate block? And can we start a program where we can, work on these initiatives, where we can, set examples for ISTD, at least at Delhi chapter. I know none of the chapters of ISTD at this moment of time, they are doing this. But if ISTD Delhi chapter somehow it starts and is successful in bringing about like more than 80% result instead of only 20% pass rates of ISTD diploma, I think it will be a major achievement of our chapter. And we should not talk about our achievements. We should let our achievements speak so that others speak about like Delhi chapter is doing something great. That's it from my side.
Thank you, Arvindji. This is a fabulous suggestion. Whichever team comes, I'm sure they will take it up in the near future. Right. So, I think there is some compulsion to end this session by 7:30 because there is a condolence meeting. I believe quite a few people have requested me if we can finish it by 7:30, which we will do. We will have the last speaker, Mr. Dr. Radhesh Suri, and after that, Ma'am Sucharita.
Hello.
Please be very brief. Yeah.
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
So I must thank Arvind Kumar for raising the issues of the student community. The first and foremost thing, I would put it on record, that this diploma, I have been trying to align with the NHQ and NP with reference to collaborations and partnerships. However, nothing has happened in the last 2 years. Alumni Association, which was put in place, hasn't been able to take it forward with him. The new education policy has a lot of opportunities in terms of convergence of the student of the distance education program. The distance education program, not only of the ISTD, but if I look at the IGNOU MBA program, which was the leader in starting a management program in India, there also the dropout rate is 85%. So dropout rate is not a challenge for a distance program. For a distance program, dropout would always be there. But we have to see that we provide opportunity for each and everyone, a legitimate certification program, modular certification program, leading to linkages, collaboration, and upgradation. Unfortunately, the certificate program, which was diploma program, which was being offered by ISTD, at one time it was recognized, but now it is no more recognized. That must be acknowledged and accepted. And all of us should work forward. And unfortunately, the National Council members who were in the last 6-7 years have never worked in terms of taking it forward to make it happen. With that, I would request all of us to take it further in terms of making this certificate as making this diploma program a legitimate program. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining in, and thank you for participating and sharing your viewpoints. I'm sure we will turn a new leaf going forward. And on behalf of the managing committee, I'd like to thank each and every one of you and wish you a good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Grateful to all of you for your time and suggestions and deliberations. Namaskar.